Alright, this video is going to be an introduction to the new project, and that project is going to be a surreal landscape. So there's two words in this title, and we're going to need to know the definition of those words to complete the project. So actually the second word, landscape, is easier to define. And a landscape is a picture or an image. In our case, it'll be a drawing that is outside, and it shows something called the horizon, and it has something called the foreground, and something called the midground, and something called the background. So what does that mean? We can look at a landscape or an example of a landscape to understand that better. So in this landscape, the horizon is right here. The horizon is the imaginary line where the sky and the ground meet. So in this picture, it's right in the middle, but it could be down or up from there. And the reason why the horizon is so important is because it helps us understand where the foreground, midground, and background are in our picture. So you probably know what a background is, right? It's something in the back, it's far away. So in this picture, these little tiny trees, and if you can see it, this little tiny house right here, are in the background. They're very, very small, and they're close to the horizon. In our little example right here of the background, you can see that it's this person who's supposed to be in the background is very small. Something that's far away looks like it's small. Something that's far away also is very close to the horizon line, and that's why this little guy is so close to the horizon line in this picture. Okay, and just like we have a background, we have a midground too. So if a background is something that's really, really far away and close to the horizon, the midground is something that's not as far away, okay? So these red flowers might be considered to be part of the midground. In our example, when I put the person in the midground, they're a little bit larger than the person who's supposed to be in the background, and they're not as close to the horizon line, okay? Finally, we have the foreground, which is the stuff that's the closest to us. So in this picture, this woman and this child are in the foreground. They're right at the front of the picture. We would say they're the part of the picture that's closest to us. In my little picture, that's why this person who's supposed to be in the foreground is so big, and they're not standing up here by the horizon line, because something that was all the way back here by the horizon line would be small and would be in the background. So the foreground is the stuff that's right up at the front. It's bigger, and it's closer to the bottom of the paper than the horizon line. So in this project, you can do a landscape of anywhere you want, as long as it's a real place. But I don't care if it's a place that you've been to, or if it's a place that you've only seen in pictures, or if it's a place that you've read about. As long as it's a real place, you can pick any landscape. Find one that is interesting to you, that you'll enjoy drawing, right? Don't just pick one that's kind of boring. Pick something that will keep you excited throughout the whole project. But as long as it follows these rules, as long as it's outside, as long as you can see the horizon, and as long as there's space for a foreground, midground, and background, any place is okay. It could be far, far away, or it could be, in your own neighborhood. Landscapes don't all have to look the same. This is a landscape that I like. You can see this is ice, so it's like a landscape of Antarctica. This ice is really big and close to us, so it's in the front, right? So we have a foreground, we have a midground over here, and then it might be kind of hard to see in the video, but in the back, kind of faded and hard to see, are these mountains or these pieces of ice that are really far away. So that's our background. So it has a horizon line, it's outside, and I can tell there's space for a foreground, midground, and background. So now we know what a landscape is and what kind of landscape we're going to be looking for when we go to pick our place that we're going to draw. But we need to figure out, how do we make a landscape surreal? So what about the surrealism part? And surrealism is kind of hard to explain. It's better to show you guys a picture. So this is The Persistence of Memory by Salvador Dali. It's a pretty famous surrealist painting, okay? And as you can tell right away, there's something weird about it. Right? In a way, it really doesn't make sense. What's going on? Why are these clocks melting? What is this sock-looking thing? Right? Where is this taking place? Something about it is just a little bit off. And that's really what surrealism means. Something strange, not normal, but not fantasy or not science fiction. The surrealists weren't trying to make things up out of nowhere. They were trying to take reality and make it a little bit more different or weird. So when you're looking at surrealist paintings, you might notice they're very well painted. The painters are interested in painting things realistically and with a lot of skill and detail, but they're interested in taking reality and making it look strange or weird or confusing or mysterious or even grotesque or something like that. And what they were really inspired by, or what the surrealists were really interested in, was something called the unconscious mind. And that's your mind, where your mind goes when you're not in control of it. So the surrealists were really interested in dreams. They would play games where they would tell their dreams to each other. They would write down their dreams. They were very, very interested in their dreams. And obviously you guys know when you're dreaming, weird things happen, right? Your dreams a lot of times don't make any sense, right? So you might dream of something weird, like seeing a person's head get replaced by a bird, or seeing snakes crawl out of people's noses, or seeing a giant banana fall out of the sky and crash into Mount Everest. The point is, when you wake up from your dream, you go, what was that about? That was so strange. Well, you weren't in control of your thoughts while you were dreaming, and so really weird things just come out of your mind that you might not normally come up with if you were awake. And the surrealists thought that was really cool, so they wanted their pictures to seem dreamlike. So the way that we're going to take our landscape and make it surrealist is we're going to add 3 elements to it. So you're going to draw your landscape out, and that first step while you're drawing your landscape, you're just looking at a picture of a landscape that you like and trying to draw it. Remember, the surrealists really did care about having, the skill to draw things accurately, but they also wanted to combine things from dreams and the unconscious mind. So here is what your job is going to be. You're going to take 3 different dreams, and you're going to put one of them in the foreground, one of them in the midground, and one of them in the background. And since they're coming from your dreams, they're not going to fit with your landscape, okay? So you don't need to worry if, the thing that you come up with, oh, that doesn't work for the place that I'm drawing. That's what we want. That's good, okay? So the very first thing you're going to have to do is you're going to have to try and remember one of your dreams. And I have read a little bit that you actually dream every night. But what happens is you don't usually remember your dreams. So if you don't remember a dream, you might have had a dream that was really vivid and stuck with you and you can remember it now. But if you don't remember any cool dreams, all you have to do is when you wake up, have a piece of paper by your bed and a pencil or something to write with and write down what you dreamed about. And that way you'll remember it. Then the other thing is, I want you to talk to a friend or a family member or someone else and have them tell you about one of their dreams. And you can pick the part of their dream that was the most interesting to you. So you're going to incorporate something from one of your dreams, something from someone else's dream. You can talk to someone at your house, you can call your friend, you can send an email to someone from your class. All they have to do is tell you about a dream that they remember or a dream they had once, and you just have to listen to them. And the last part is, I want you to include something from a famous dream. So I went and I looked up some very famous dreams from history that real historical figures had, and I put them into the Google Doc. So your very next step is to go on to the Google Doc that I'm going to upload at the same time as this video. And it's super short, so don't treat it like a long piece of homework. It's 4 questions. The first question is, what is the landscape that you're going to draw? Okay, so you just type what place you want to draw. And then the next question is for you to write down something from one of your dreams. So if you have a dream that you already remember, you can write that down right now. Or if you can't think of a dream and nothing's coming to mind, you can go to sleep tonight. When you wake up, write down what you dreamed about, and then add it to the Google Doc later. Okay? And then the same thing for a friend's dream. So there's going to be another question where it says, what is a dream that someone you know has had? Okay, so you're going to call someone or talk to someone or ask someone what kind of dream they remember. And then the last part is going to be a multiple choice question. I'm going to put 5 famous dreams that famous people from history had, and you can pick one that speaks to you. And you're going to incorporate these into the foreground, midground, and background, right? So one of these dreams is going to get drawn into the midground of your landscape, right? I don't know, maybe your dream goes in the foreground, right? And your family's dream, your friend's dream goes in the background, and the famous dream from the Google Doc goes in the midground, right? Or you can mix that up and match that however you want. It doesn't matter where you put this, but you have to have 3 dreams, and 1 is going in the foreground, 1 is going in the midground, and 1 is going in the background. So your next step is to get on Google Docs and fill out that really short document. I think it would take you about 5 minutes. It's just to make sure that you have what you're going to draw planned out. When you finish that doc, you don't need to wait for me to grade it. You can go straight to drawing the landscape. I'm going to say the Google Doc is going to be due on Friday. So that's Friday, June 5th. And the drawing is going to be due June 10th because we're getting pretty close to the end of the semester.